This is going to be hard, but this is a poem from a special needs father. In the emergency room, something's not right. My daughter keeps crying nonstop all night. Scared and all alone, not knowing the chaos that is to come into our home. A nurse sits me down, lays her hand on my shoulder, and explains we have a really sick girl. Then gets up, walks away, leaving me in total shock and thinking, what is wrong with this world? The next day, my wife Stephanie enters the room, hoping to hear some good news. I broke down crying, explained what I was told, that there would be some major decisions for us to choose. Holding my daughter tightly and hugging my wife, we were up for any challenge brought forth. Boy, we were blind to the intensity that was ahead and the toll that it would take on our souls. CT scans, MRIs, and countless needle pokes, seeing my daughter in pain, holding her and telling her everything's going to be all right as the nurse tries to find a good IV vein. Sitting down with a neurologist and neuromuscular geneticist, hearing them speak of Alexa's condition. The seriousness smacked us right in the face upon hearing the uphill battle of our position. Words like microcephaly, where there's no growth in her brain, and her mitochondrial disease, but they don't know the strain. We put a brave face on and again accepted the challenge that really gave us no chance. Not knowing the monster that was before us to fight has dug its heels in and held its stance. Living in the children's ward on and off for approximately 2 years. Meetings with doctors trying to spell our fears. Knowing nurses' names by their first names and seeing them hurt as their disease takes its toll on them too. You can be as professional as you want, but seeing children hurt, not knowing there's much that they can do. Finally, after 5 years of test after test, a strain of mito was finally confirmed. Cytochrome B. She's the only one in the world that has such a strain, but the shocking part was still to be learned. Now that they know what to look for in tests, Stephanie and Carter had their biopsies taken. Carter was fine, without any worries, but the news for Steph was a devastating blow, one that left our whole family shaken. Stephanie showed strength and bravery, knowing her fate that she had the same strain as our little girl. One that took Alexis and left such a void, and will also take Stephanie from this world. Our son Carter's been the rock, always waiting patiently as we scrambled through G-tube and tracheostomy changes. He kept us calm at times when Alexis' temperature would spike as she threw through the temperature ranges. He always smiled when we were down, not knowing what would come next. He'd offer to help and kiss his little sister, washing her face with always Kleenex. Before her 3rd birthday, the hospital sent Alexis home and told us to hold on to her as much as we can. They said the chances of a best result is that she stays alive for this coming weekend. The outpouring of love from family and friends left us humbled over those few days. We should have known that Alexis would fight more than ever. With her strength left us all as amazed. Her will to live was so great. She showed us the value of life. We were basically being taught a lesson by a little girl so small who couldn't talk or see, and wouldn't give in to this disease's progression. We took Alexis everywhere, not knowing how long she had left. We had decided to give her the time of her life. From her wish trip to Disney, the Maid of the Mist, and everything that was available, offered by Rebecca from Starlight. Myrtle Beach is a place that we hold dear to our heart, for Alexis's response to the ocean was so positive to see. Not much suctioning, her O2 sats were always high, and she would lay calm in her pink polka dot bikini. In late August 2010, we rushed Alexis to the hospital. We couldn't get her to breathe. My little warrior of a girl was letting us know that it might be time for her to leave. We wouldn't give up. We had her put on a vent, for that's all we ever knew. To fight for our girl and pray for her to rebound like every time before she would always do. Something was different. We had an eerie feeling. This time it didn't feel right. An intense meeting with Alexis's medical team that confirmed our fears that Alexis would lose in this fight. The hardest thing was being asked for a parent to do was to take our daughter off of life support and let nature run its course. I still tremble today with having to make that decision, questioning, was it the right choice? When we took her off and held her tight, thinking it wouldn't be long for the process to end, Alexis ground her teeth, gripped my finger, and held on, and I knew she was fighting to the end. She fought for 25 hours until she was pronounced dead, and as tears rolling down my face, my son Carter hugged me and rubbed my back and said, "Don't worry, Dad. She's in a much better place." Every day hurts, no matter how much time has passed. But I choose not to let her loss stop me. Alexis would be saying, "Get up, Dad, and live your life to the fullest, and get my big brother golfing." So as I watch Carter grow and succeed in life, I know our little girl is watching down on us. Happy that we hadn't given up on living, with a perspective on life, knowing the value of life is so precious. I leave you with this. Hold your children tight. Hug them and express your love for them. I know there's a little girl looking down and smiling on us from her new place up in heaven. Thank you. That is a poem from me, a grieving father, Chris Rung.